Hi again, everyone. I'm olliemathews. This is Societal Narcissism. This video is sponsored by contribution from Christine. Before I get to Christine's video, please go to the description box, click on the Rumble link. I ask everybody to watch over there as I'm still monetized, and it'll help out with the channel. So, Christine sent in an audio file of herself telling her story, Christine's mom's story. So let's just get into it, shall we?
Hi, Ollie. It's Christine again. I wrote in mid-August about my dad, who is a boomer, who is with my mom, Gen X, and I'm 28. I've gone no contact with my dad, but I am not no contact with my mom, but I know she's not innocent in the story, and so I'm going to tell you a bit of the background on her. So I guess I could summarize. I'm not sure that she is borderline because I don't know enough about it. I know you talk about borderline moms. Maybe by the end of this you can kind of tell me, but she definitely was not emotionally mature as a mother. She never stepped into her mature womanhood. It was almost like being raised by a teenager in a way. She still acts super young.
Acts super young. What, like, just doing things just out of her age bracket, I'm sure. This is a problem with Gen X as well. They don't want to let the 90s go, the 80s go, trying to just hold on to, like, trying to relive their youth, very emotionally immature.
So I always thought I had it really good, and I was really lucky with my parents because they were very involved. They always took me to sports, signed me up for sports, piano, ice skating, all of that. They didn't hit me. They, they were very involved, but almost in a very enmeshed way, because I'm almost 30. I have no husband, no kids. I would love that, and I have wanted that. Obviously didn't have the best example of relationships, trying to turn that around for myself, break the cycle. But the expectation of me in their lives is so unrealistic. They've infantilized me and almost handicapped me to the point where I had to start raising myself the past year and a half because I didn't realize, how behind I really was. I was in college for a long time, wasn't taking care of myself, was dependent on my father for the most part, and as soon as I started differing in opinion politically and relationship-wise, he, took the rug out from under me. Obviously, he didn't like that, so he started using financial control.
Typical boomer tactic. They love their financial control. My father's like, you're going to do what I tell you to do, how I tell you to do it, and you'll like it. Really? He said that to me at like 30 years. The last time he said that to me was at like at 30 years old. It's just how they are.
Luckily, I was with someone who really helped me during that time. And anyways, my mother. So she, like I said, I thought I had this really great childhood. It turns out I was really, really enmeshed and really, really sheltered, not ever taught to stand up for myself. Whenever I was upset about something, as little girls are sometimes, about things with friends, my mom would almost get as upset as I would. She would be sitting there crying instead of saying, this is how you stand up for yourself, or this is how you have self-confidence. She would get really upset and want to shelter and protect me rather than build me to be strong in myself.
Right. And she's also trying to live vicariously through you as well. Seeing you as a friend instead of trying to raise you as a friend instead of as a daughter. Trying to be a friend instead of a mother.
So I think that made me have low self-esteem and low boundaries. Then I remember when I remember around age 10 to 12, she would always be really sad, or she would get sad or angry really quickly, and I'd ask her what was wrong, and she wouldn't tell me always. And
it's control. It's control manipulation. Typical tactic of the borderline. As you're getting older, that control has to tighten because she sees the danger of you getting older, having older friends, older boyfriends, and she didn't want that. She can't have that. She had to keep your focus on her by keeping your self-esteem down and keeping your ignorance high.
She would just look kind of depressed. She had some drinking issues too at one point. Or like at a couple of points she would quit, and then she would be drinking it would be 4 or 5 beers or something. Not like insane, but still. And that would make her emotional, and I would be like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I thought that I had to always fix and worry about her. And
they love using their kids as therapists. They love it. And it's just emotional control. That's all it is.
Feel bad for her, and I feel bad for her to this day. Then around 13, obviously, I told you in the last video that she she had a full-blown affair with my dad's friend, who was the best man in their wedding. And then this makes me so angry thinking about it, because after that, right, as traumatizing as that is, my father finds out, he freaks out. They don't handle it in any way that is appropriate for a child. Like, such emotional outbursts, such trauma.
Why are they bringing that type of problem to a child in the first place? It's so unfair. It's so manipulative. And it's completely abusive.
I remember being 13, year-old girl, kicking a door so hard. I was so angry because of the way it all came out and the way my dad acted, the way my mom acted. And so instead of protecting us, right, they just totally traumatize us about it. My brother's a couple years older. Then, oh my God.
Because they want to make sure their problems are your problems. There's no such thing as adult problems with borderlines and narcissists. Their problems are everybody's problems, especially their children's.
So then her and my dad were talking to me about their side of the story for years and years.
Why? It's just so traumatic. It's so traumatic. You're a child. You have your own problems. Why did they want to make, the only relationship the relationship between your mother and father, this? How does that affect, how do they think that's going to affect your dating life and your dating prospects and your relationship successes? Sabotaging you, cutting your Achilles heel.
And I'm so parentified by my mother. I have to fucking sit there and listen to her every day. It's making me so angry thinking about it, because I should have been with my friends. I should have been doing activities, but I was babysitting her emotionally after school. I thought it was my role because she made it my role, because I didn't know when I was 13 how inappropriate it was for her to be telling me this and justifying it to me about why her feelings. And, a lot of people have affairs and they just can't help it because they just fall in love. And sometimes it's just a feeling and you don't know who it's going to be. So this is the kind of relationship advice I'm getting from my mom too. It's all about butterflies. Nothing functional, nothing realistic, nothing traditional.
At 13, your mother's talking to you about her affairs and trying to justify it. Yeah, that's borderline personality disorder.
It's like if you feel butterflies and someone makes you laugh, then that's the one for you. Dude, she's a product of, obviously, rom-coms. That's all it's so shallow. So she cried, said she's so sorry that it happened. She stayed with the guy for 8 years, okay? She still justifies it to
8 years. 8 years. There was no reason for you to ever have to find out about this. None. And it's completely inappropriate that you did. And I'm sure you and your brother aren't the only ones who found out about it. I'm sure the whole town knew about it. The school knew about it. Like, no wonder you have low self-esteem. You're walking around thinking about, am I going to have to justify my mother's actions to this person or that person?
This day sometimes.
And plus, I can imagine what the boys or the guys your age were thinking, like, oh, her mother's a goer. Like, come on. Talk about handicapping your own child.
I feel really bad because I was so messed up that I went and I ended up, having to accept this guy into my life. I'd go to his house because my mom was with him for 8 years. That should have never happened. And he never did anything weird to me. Like, it seemed like, I don't know. They broke up. I don't know what happened. So.
Wait, she didn't want to tell you what happened on the breakup, but she wanted to give you every gory detail about the affair in the first place and cheating on your father and justifying that. But when it went all bad, she had nothing to say. Makes me wonder on who she got caught sleeping with next.
So, yeah, that was up until I was about 18, 19, 20. Then I'm in college. I moved far away for college, but she would expect me to have fucking 2 hour, 3 hour long phone calls with her multiple times a week. And I'm sitting there giving her advice, and I'm studying psychology. And her joke, which I never found funny for 1 second, was, I'm going to be your first client.
That's what she wanted. Yeah, exactly. You already have been. You should have been sending her a bill. Should have been sending her a bill already. What do you mean? You're going to be. You already are. You have been since I've been 5 years old. What do you want from me? Oh, God.
Get free therapy or whatever. Meanwhile, I had been telling her for years to get therapy. I was getting therapy. I had friggin' mental breakdowns. Did her or my dad get therapy for 1 second? My dad got therapy to find out if she was cheating on him or something, like way back. Anyways, oh gosh, I'm just getting angry.
You have every right to be angry. They used you as a therapist and as through emotional control. That's it. That's it. They didn't want therapy. They wanted control. Your mother wants a permanent BFF that's going to be at her every beck and call whenever she wants and desires. And goddamn, if you try to fight back. I mentioned this a couple of videos ago that I started watching one of my old childhood shows that I used to like, The Odd Couple. And I'm telling you, it's like, that is another display in narcissism, Felix Unger, that character. Because it's all about him. And if he wants something, he isn't going to stop nagging and pestering and berating until he gets it. He'll whine, he'll pout, he'll cry, he'll whine, he'll guilt trip, he'll run the entire gamut. It's like, and as a kid, you don't see it. It's just funny because it's on TV and it's how he's acting. But now it's like, whoa, this is an exercise in narcissism and borderline personality disorder, because that's exactly how a borderline acts. And that's what your mother's doing. Your mother's a female Felix Unger.
So to this day, I've really cut back calling her. I talk to her like once a week, but I don't know if you remember much from the last video, but I started dating someone older that was traditional. My dad freaked out and started spreading lies to the family about this guy. Really scared my mom. So I was very upset with my mom and my dad because they were calling me, demanding my location. I am 27 years old at that point, demanding my location.
Understand something. That wasn't about his policies, about his politics. It wasn't. That was about you taking the focus of your mother, putting it on you and taking it off him. No matter who you were in a relationship with, he'd have done the same thing. He'd have found some kind of issue to try to destroy the relationship. It's another hoovering tactic because he doesn't want to deal with your mother. That's your job, according to him. Don't think that was over politics. It wasn't. It was about your mother and him not having to be pestered by her. Just like when you go no contact from the narcissist and you start getting all those flying monkeys coming in, hoovering because now they're getting the brunt. That's what your father's dealing with.
Calling his parents, calling his landlord, and gossiping about him to the point where the landlord told him that he needed to move out based on lies. The guy did nothing wrong, okay?
Your boyfriend should have sued him. He should have sued him for harassment, for defamation of character. He should have sued him. Because if they're all lies and if they're all provable lies, what are you doing? And like the landlord, I'm saying your father, not the landlord. I mean, if he's, look, even like at a job, if you have, we used to at Macy's, we would fire people if they took out a restraining order on someone else. Not because they took it out, but because we can't have you working in the store, okay, if now you're a target. If you're a legitimate target that this guy said somebody's going to come in and do something bad to you, we can't take the liability of trying to protect you. We have other employees. We have the customers to worry about. So the person filing the restraining order would get terminated because we can't have them in the store. And it's like, well, why can't you transfer him? Because we don't know if he's going to find her there or not. We can't take that type of responsibility. Same thing with the landlord. Might not have, from what your father might have been accusing him of and the harassment he was getting, it wasn't worth it. So he had to say, like, look, you got to go. I can't handle this. It's up to you to do something. It's up to him to do something about it. He should try. He should legit try to go after your father, sue your father for harassment and defamation of character. And you could testify against him. Say, yeah, that's how it is. It was all lies. It was all over this relationship because, I think he wanted me to be the main focus of my mother because he don't want to deal with her. It's the only way they learn, especially a boomer. They learn real quick then.
And I have proof, of all of this. So they try to make me think I'm crazy. I'm not. This guy has been better to me than my parents have been my entire life. So, yeah, my mom freaked out, and I stopped talking to her for 2 months. She was blowing up my phone, blowing up. I had blocked her at that point. Then she's blowing up my best friend's phone, blowing up. And that was the other problem with her is she would want all of my friends' numbers and all of my brother's friends' numbers. And she brags about it to this day that, if she ever needs to find me, at least she has all her friends' numbers.
Right. That's like a veiled threat. I am under you. I can find you wherever you go. I know where all your friends are. You have nowhere to run. You have nowhere to hide. That's what she's doing. Yeah, Sheena, you got to cut her out too. Because what do you think? This is going to get better? She's going to change. She's going to see the error of her ways. Not happening. This problem only gets worse as they get older and older. As her prospects get less and less, and she gets closer and closer to death, and this problem only gets worse. So the sooner you are able to go no contact and say, enough is enough, I have my own life to live without your interference, and if you try anything, I'll put a restraining order on you. You have to. You have to, for your own sanity. And he has to, and your boyfriend needs to seriously consider going after your father for something like that. He has to. Because it's not going to stop.
And she when I didn't want to answer her, and I asked my friends who are very loyal to me not to answer questions from my mom about me when I wasn't talking to her.
You should have asked your friends to block her as well. It's like, you have to block her. You have to block her because this is not going to stop.
They didn't answer questions, and my mom turned around and said, well, they're my friends too. Seriously? How old are you? So anyways.
I told you she didn't want to be your mother. She wanted a permanent best friend servant. That's what she wanted. Like my grandmother had Florence, her lackey. She wanted a lackey.
It's really, really hard. She's like glue. And I think she does love me in a weird way.
No, she doesn't. No, don't delude yourself. That is not love. There is not one scrap of love in that. It's all about your mother and her and what she wants and what she needs, and she demands it from you. That isn't love. What mother doesn't want to see her daughter have a happy life and get married and have children? She talk about grandchildren. Does she ever mention having grandchildren? I doubt it. Maybe from your brother, because that's acceptable, because your brother's hasn't been designated to be her lackey. What about you? That's not love. There ain't one scrap of love in that scenario.
I think she loves me, but
she doesn't. Christina, she doesn't. She doesn't. She doesn't love anybody but herself. Period. Not your father, not the guy she was screwing around with. Nobody. No one. Because it's all about her and her needs at all times.
There's this gaping hole in her that I will never ever fill, no matter how many fucking hours I talk to her on the phone.
Exactly. So stop trying. This problem never gets better. They never see the light. They never have an epiphany. It just gets worse and worse as they get older and older and older. And they become more pathetic. And if you don't cut it now, okay, then she's going to be with then the medical problems are going to start, and the health problems, and I'm this, and I'm dying, and you're going to abandon your mother. Yes, it's much easier to do it now than down the road, okay, because as you get older and you get more desperate for a marriage and a family, that's when all the health problems are going to start. Okay, and all that type of health manipulation that they all do. You better get away from it before you're around and it starts, because it is going to start. As soon as you go no contact, I promise you, within 6 months, the health problems are going to start. She's going to be on death's door and just torturing you the entire way. And understand, all your father wants is you to be the focus of her toxicity. That's all he's looking for.
So anyways, it's really exhausting, and I know I seem very weak because I can't cut the relationship. I can't do it. And
You're not weak. You've been manipulated. You're confused. You have low self-esteem because you've been manipulated since childhood. A weak person wouldn't be reaching out to me for help. You're looking for answers. You're looking for somebody to tell you this is what you need to do, because in your mind, in your heart, in your gut, you already know it. But because of the way you've been raised, you need to hear it. You need to hear it from an outside source, okay? And I'm telling you, this is going to end. The longer you wait, the worse it's going to be, because she's not going to change, ever.
It wrecked the relationship that I could have had my dream come true, like a house, a man, kids, everything that I want. And they wrecked it. And for some reason, I still talk to her like once a week. And I want to add in, her mom was neglectful and I think beat her a bit. I don't know if it was the norm back then with the spoon, but I think she was pretty neglectful, the mom. And I think the mom had an affair on my grandfather, who worked in a factory And he bought houses for each one of his daughters when they got married. That's how good of a man he was. And then he never
It's unbelievable you could do that on a factory job as well.
was with anyone after my grandma. So I think she started this whole thing. She was really good to me and my brother. And by good, if in a boomer way where she kind of spoiled us, like treated us really well, got us presents, and wants to see us and brag about us all the time.
Which is another reason why your mother doesn't want you to have children, because children take the focus off of them. Typical, you're right, typical boomer behavior, typical of a boomer mother to do her to her Gen X daughter. I mean, that's, it's customary. Doesn't excuse it. Because there's plenty of people who figure out pretty early on, that's not right. I didn't like it. I'm not doing it to my child. And your mother is young enough to know better.
I hope this is all making sense. I know a lot is coming out, but I think my grandma started this because my grandpa, who has now died, he left all of his grandkids a brick of silver. This is from a factory job. He was such a good man. Bought all of his daughters a house in Toronto. Now no one can afford that.
Yeah. What does a house go for? Can you touch a house in Toronto for less than $1 million too? I doubt it.
Now all of the kids, if they kept their houses, one of them kept it, can be millionaires now. But anyways, that's how good of a man he was. That's what he did. And my grandma, I'm pretty sure one of the daughters is from another man. And I'm finding that out now. And that daughter doesn't talk to my grandma. So there's a toxic thing there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is handed down from generation to generation. Those of us who have narcissistic parents, borderline parents, they didn't sprout up like a weed. They didn't just fall out of the ether. They're created. They're created by their parents. This is a cycle that repeats itself generation after generation until somebody is brave enough to stand up and say, enough. I'm not taking this anymore. I am living my own life. You had 28 years to figure this out. And you're further away from it now than you were 28 years ago.
So, yeah, there's more of my family stuff. There's my mom's situation. I know I got to stop being weak. I don't know what I'm going to do. If I've really limited a lot of contact with her, and I've had some really hard conversations with her where I've basically told her flat out that she's way too, that it's time for me to live my life, because I think it's so fucking selfish that my entire 20s, my parents had these expectations that I'm supposed to emotionally coddle them when I'm not reproducing and creating healthy, strong, capable offspring in my family line and having a normal life like everyone else in my family got. So because they messed up and ruined their lives, now you got to hold me back. So I'm not letting them hold me back anymore, but in a way, it took me a while to make this video. Thank you for listening. I want to hear your feedback. And it just makes me very angry to talk about. All right. I will talk to you next time. Bye.
Stolen childhoods lead to stolen adulthoods. You ever said that to your mother? You stole my childhood. And you completely sabotaging my adulthood, and it stops today. That's the only way out of this, Christina. You're not going to change her. And even if she might say, oh, we should go to therapy together. No, because she's going to manipulate the therapist. They always do. And she will take what she hears out of therapy and then try to psychoanalyze you and get deeper in your head. You cannot fix this with her in your life, with either one of them in your life. You're too emotionally damaged. The only way you're going to get clarity over this entire situation is through no contact. It's the only way, because they have irreparably harmed you. deliberately for the purpose of you being her lackey. Felix Unger, man. The borderline mother is Felix Unger. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, go on Netflix or whatever streaming service you have and watch the TV show The Odd Couple. And you'll see it. You'll see the same behaviors that your mother displays out of Felix Unger. That's what it is. And you can't fix her because she don't want to be fixed. She just wants to figure out how to put everything back to her status quo. So I hope that helps. Thank you so much for another contribution and story, Christine. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, something you want to expose, you'd like to set up a Skype phone call, have a private video made, you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with either the Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, and email links in the description box below. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. Also, be sure to subscribe to both my channels on Rumble. If you haven't watched the video over there, please do. Even a click helps. Follow me on TikTok, X, and Telegram as well. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been Societal Narcissism. Take care, everyone.